what you want from me. It's like you playing a game of Bloody Mary or something. But here I go. Here I go. Zeno, you killing it. M Rain. Such a shame I gotta do this to you, but you keep poking and prying, so I'ma give it to you. Anytime I see you, know what's up with me. Why you keep on calling my name? What you want from me? Could it be the fortune and fame you gain from energy? A predator is who you be. Unbind those energies so we can see that you really weak. Tell your minions stand down. They don't really want this heat. Tell them that this war that we in, it's just you and me. All those curses flow from your grin. I speak it fluently. Talking about what you gonna do to me. I violate you intrusively. Pay your damn bill, that tax lien is waiting patiently. Get the gab is all we see. Foot on neck so you can't breathe. Bet you didn't know I was a beast when I ride the beat. Standing 10 toes down in my lane. I don't know defeat. Now I'm calling my energy back to me happily, but actually the savage me is ready for a massacre. Just in case you was confused, that was a wordplay on massacre. Yeah. You want to keep going back and forth? Round for round? Pound for pound, let's go, or stand down. You unleashed the beast. First lady.
Hey, everybody. Lavette and here. And I am also here with my lovely, absolutely wonderful co-host, Shara Prophet.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm in love with that song. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. You need to have it where we can stream it, where we can download it and stream it.
Yeah, I'll definitely consider that. Thank you. All right, everyone. So for those of you that have been subscribed when this channel was initially named Exposing M Rain, Sharon and I, we had a conversation and we decided to just go ahead and update the channel to focus on M Rain, of course, but not solely focus on M Rain, because currently, right now, for the past, 3 Mondays, we have launched a series by the name of Unveiling Deceptive Elites and Public Figures, right? So this encompasses a wide spectrum of individuals, starting from the everyday average person, scaling all the way up to the elites that deserve a little expose. So because of that, we decided to not keep it so narrow and so constrained. So we decided to go ahead and again update the channel, which is now Deceptive Figures Exposed, and it is also our podcast. So tonight is episode 1 of our new podcast. But tonight, Shara and I will do a little bit of clearing the air, addressing some situations, also talking about this witch war, this spiritual warfare that we've been in for 2.5 years. I know many of you have heard our stories, but tonight we'll share a lot more. I definitely would like to share some of my experiences, but without any further ado, I do want to pass it off to Shara and allow her to open up by sharing her story and whatever else she's led to share with us tonight. It's on you, babe.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It is such a pleasure to be here. And Lavette, I'm so happy that, we decided to structure this channel this way and just come together on this. Again, we're here to share our experiences. This is not a gossip channel. This is not about, anything other than sharing our experiences, sharing truth, sharing knowledge, helping other people who might be going through the same thing or have gone through the same thing, whether it's with this particular individual or whether it's with someone else. So, I would just like to just kind of get the ball rolling and talk, just a little bit about some of the things that I experienced. I first came into the magical mystic community I was a part of the group, the Facebook group, back in I think I started like officially following Emme in 2019. And then from there, I kind of just watched her a little bit and was just kind of, trying to decide whether or not I wanted to join the apprenticeship or what have you. So fast forward 2020, December 31st, 2019, I sent my first payment for the Divinity Academy apprenticeship. And on January 2020, that was my first day officially starting as an apprentice. At first, everything was great. I was excited. I was really excited to be a part of that community because it was led by a Black woman who was, dealing in magic and doing, made her business off of being out of the closet.
Right.
My background was more clinically trained as a hypnotherapist. We're taught to just remain as a hypnotherapist. You don't really talk about your religious aspects or viewpoints or spirituality and things like that. You kind of just keep that to yourself. But I wanted to be a part of a community where I was able to talk out loud about those types of things and potentially gain some clients who were magically magically inclined, and then always also looking for ways to heal themselves through a tool like hypnosis. So I bought into the apprenticeship, and I told him this. I said, look, I want access to your audience, so I will pay you for that. You know what I mean? I'm a businesswoman. I get it. Like, I will pay you for your audience.
That was a smart strategic move. Yeah.
I was very upfront about that.
Right.
And also, of course, just to get the knowledge and some more teaching. I had been doing since 2008. I had really started my path in 2008, but I'd never had a community. I never had like people I could talk to about it. It was just always just me being a solo practitioner. So things were great for like the first few months. Then I started noticing like flies on the wall. Like, I told you about, it was like a bunch of flies. It was like 13, 14 flies just sitting on my ceiling. Right. And not moving, not flying, just sitting there. And I was like, this is weird. I ain't never seen nothing like this before. I remember posting about it in the Magical Mystic forum on the Facebook, in the Facebook group, and the people were like, oh, that's a bad omen. And, that means somebody is starting to put some work on you. People were just saying that. And I was like, nah, man, I just got here. Why would anybody be trying to do anything to me?
Right.
And so now that I go back and think about it, I'm like, yeah, that was probably the beginning of some things starting to pop off. So I'm gonna throw it back in your corner real quick. What was your exposure to Emme, and how did you get into the community?
Well, I knew Emme when she was known as Lacresha Hayes, the author. I will say we were friends on Facebook for about 10 years before I joined the community. At that time, I had written my first book by the name of Diva, Domestically Involved in Violent Affairs. It's based off of a true story. So I was, connecting with a lot of other authors. So I sent out a whole bunch of friend requests to people on Facebook that had the word author in their name. And that's how we became friends. It was only a Facebook connection. We never engaged with each other. We were just Facebook friends. But fast forward 10 years later, at this time, I had gotten really deep into universal laws and, just learning about spiritual principles. And I had a group at the time. And in the group, I was deep diving and teaching on the law of manifestation. So one day I get on Facebook and I see a post, but it was from an M. Rain. And in the post, she tagged her Lacresha Hayes page in the M Rain post. So that's how I knew it was Lacresha Hayes. And then when I looked at the profile pic of M Rain, I was like, oh, this is Lacresha. I'm like, okay, what she got going on over here? And in the post, she was talking about how she manifested her Maserati. Mind you, I was already in that space of really deep diving into law of manifestation. So that's what grabbed my attention, right? So when I clicked on the M Rain profile, again, I saw it was her. I'm just scrolling through her posts because, you know, most of her posts are public. And I saw a lot of those public rituals that she does. And I'm like, first, I'll never forget it. First thing I said was, what the hell, Lacresha got going on over here? Right? But I was new on my journey. So honestly, I was intrigued. And then I sent her a friend request. She accepted it. And almost immediately, Shara, which was the first red flag, almost immediately. I think this was back in, it was like May of 2019. And almost immediately after listening to a few of her lives, I started spending money, buying oils. Yeah, buying the oils, participating in rituals. And it's funny because the other day I went through my email and I searched up Magical Mystic PayPal, and it just pulled up all of my PayPal transactions. Man. A lot.
A lot of money.
A lot. Yes. A lot from the very beginning.
Too damn much for somebody who you supporting to be throwing magic at you. And talking mess about you. Like, are you serious? I think I single-handedly paid your mortgage 1 month or a couple of months, for real, you know?
For real. Yeah. For real. Yeah. So that's how I became aware of, you know, the Magical Mystic community. Of course, you know, during that time I joined the Magical Mystic group on Facebook as well. So yeah, that's how I got sucked in. Yeah.
Yeah. When was, because I know for me, I first noticed that something was like off with those flies on the wall.
Right.
And it was like a smell. It was like a smell of dead rats in my vent. And I was just like, what's going on? That never ever happened to me in my place. I had at the time I had been in my place for like 10, maybe like, almost like 10 years or something like that.
Oh, wow.
So I was just like, nothing like that had ever happened. But this was literally months after being an apprentice. I noticed what was happening. And so she would always say that we should expect to be attacked because there were other practitioners outside of the community who, you know, I guess was jealous of her, didn't like her or whatever. And they were the ones that would probably be throwing magic. So, you know, at the time I'm like, well, I wish I would have known this before I signed up. You know what I mean? Before I signed up for this, because like I'm over here trying to get ahead, not trying to be stifled or delayed by being attacked magically by some people I can't even see and I don't know who they are, you know. So that was my first like inclination that something was off. What was the first thing that happened to you that made you say,
You know what? Hearing you talk about the flies on your ceiling, I completely forgot about the experience I had with a bat.
Bat?
A bat, yes.
Oh, wow.
A bat.
Okay.
And this happened, I think it was in like May, June of 2019. See, I immediately go straight to when I participated in the ritual for the month of August. I paid for the ritual subscription. So I was a part of every ritual that was held in the month of August. But I forgot about that bat situation. And how could I forget? Because it was such a major thing. So back in, it was like May or June 2019. The home I'm living in right now, we just moved in this home. We moved here. Matter of fact, April 1st, 2019. That was like our first day after moving and everything. Our first day here, April 1st, 2019. And like I said, I started following M and the Magical Mystic community in May. So, but I had this experience with the bat like in between May and June, if I'm not mistaken. But I remember me getting into um, just a spat with someone and just talking haphazardly. I was like, you better stop playing with me before I send a bat to your house, right? Just talking reckless. And yes, and maybe a day or two after that, I was in my bathroom, the bathroom that's in my bedroom. And I think I was looking in the mirror doing something, probably washing my face or doing something like that. And I heard some ruffling in my shower. So when I turned to the right and I looked toward the shower, I see the bat fly up. He was inside my shower and he flew up and hit the ceiling.
Oh
And
my
I
goodness.
slowly backed out and closed the door. And then I ran to my kids and I was like, oh my gosh, there's a bat in my bathroom. There's a bat in my bathroom. So I didn't open the door after that. What I did was I took one of my suitcases and I pushed it behind the door. Um, I slept in the living room that night because I was, come on, a bat in the house. I was
Yeah.
freaking out, right?
Hell no.
So I'm like, I
Right.
am not. I was like, I
I
am
don't
not.
blame you.
Right. I'm like, I am not sleeping in my room. I'm sleeping in the living room. Do you know I woke up around 6 o'clock in the morning and that bat was flying around in the living room over me? Now
What? How
this
did
is
it get out?
that's what I was just about to say. This is the thing that got me. How did he, first of all, how did he get in?
Yeah, that part.
Because the only opening in the bathroom are the vents. And I know they don't have bones, but the bat was, well, I'm not going to say he was huge. He was mid-sized.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I really don't know about bats per se, so I can't
Right.
say, they were, that bat was unable to fit through the crack in the vents, the opening in the vents. But the openings are very, very small, very small. So still to this day, when I do think about it, like I'm thinking about it now, it baffles me. Like, not only how did he get in the bathroom, how did he get out?
Yeah. That is so
It's
crazy.
so crazy. And the only other opening outside of the vent is the little crack under the door. And even that crack
Mhm.
is small.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was, when I woke up, I literally, when I opened my eyes, I was laying on my living room sofa. And when I opened my eyes, he was flying around or hovering over me in the living room.
I know you
So,
wanted to lose your mind because I probably just
oh
would have jumped
my
up and
goodness.
ran out the
Oh my
house.
goodness. I woke up and I started screaming. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning. I'll never forget it. It's crazy. I've never told this story before publicly. Only a few friends know. So
Wow.
I'm glad we're having this conversation because I'm like, how could I forget about that experience?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I
So I
mean,
woke up screaming. I grabbed a broom and my daughter and I were swatting, we're swatting. Long story short, he flew back into my room, like, and it was so crazy because he knew where he was going, like flying from the
mhm.
living room into my room, like he knew exactly where to go. It was weird. Um, so long story short, he ended up, flying back into my room and he landed on the screen, the window screen. So when he did that, I mustered up the courage to close the window. So now he's trapped between the screen and the window. And I got a good look at him. He looked like he was a baby, honestly. He was
Mhm.
medium sized. He looked like he
Mhm.
was a baby. He was kind of cute, which is weird.
Mhm. Yeah, I
And
love bats are really cute. I actually love bats. When you look at
yeah,
it, you're like, oh, he's so cute.
right. So after I trapped him in the window, I lifted up the window a little bit and I pushed the screen out. And
Mhm.
then that's how he flew away after that.
Okay.
So when you
Wow.
asked what was the first, instance that took place, it was definitely that one. And then after that, the ritual that I talked about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The ritual where you felt drained afterwards, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that was in
Yeah.
August. But this
Okay.
experience with the bat, it had to be anywhere between May and June of
Okay.
2019.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and then after all of that happened with the flies and stuff on the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I noticed when I first got into the apprenticeship, I noticed that my money got really good, right? It got really good
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning. And then I think it was like around the time of like, I think it was like June of 2020. That's when I noticed that there was like a shift taking place. And that's when I also noticed where it was kind of like, not that the money was drying up,
Mm-hmm.
but it just kind of slowed down. And I know that happens. You know, your money slows down sometimes. Like that's just the ebb and flow.
Right.
But there were other little things that were taking place as well that had me kind of like, what is going on here? You know, like I started having car trouble. That was more so like close to the end of 2020 when that happened. That was like around June of 2020 when the money started kind of drying up a little bit. And I was like, this is so odd when everything was just booming, booming, booming. And then all of a sudden, you know, it just starts to wean off a little bit. But that was also around the time where that's when I had a little like viral moment on Facebook where like a couple of years before, I had worked with a gentleman who was the director of the Dark Girls 2 documentary that aired on the Oprah Winfrey Network. So when that finally aired in 2020, and so I had like a little bit of a viral moment or whatever, and that's when I kind of noticed a little bit of upheaval after that. You know what I mean? Like a little bit of like, okay, something is off. Like you know how you just can't put your finger on it, but it just felt like the energy around me was off. That's the best way I can explain it. It was just things just kind of started getting a little weird after that, weirder after that. And it really wasn't until graduation, when I graduated from the apprenticeship, that's when I really noticed, and that was in 2021. 2021, in January 2021, I completed the apprenticeship. Then we went to the graduation in Louisiana. That was in May of 2021. And after graduation, I noticed that's when everything like shit just started hitting the fan for me. You know, like I said, close to the end of 2020, my car started acting up. This car was in excellent condition. I never had any problems out of it. And all of a sudden, it just started overheating. And then next thing I know, I can't even start it anymore.
Wow.
And of course, money was just terrible after the graduation happened. Money started getting terrible. The relationship I was in, which was going really well, then all of a sudden just started crashing and burning out of nowhere, you know. And I was just like, what the hell is going on right now? Like everything was going pretty good. And then now all of this stuff is happening. So, you know, I always say that when I went into divination, because remember I finally said something to you guys. I was like, I didn't really want to say nothing, y'all, but I've been under attack like for the past like almost year. I've been under attack. And that's when you guys started saying, you know what, I feel like I have been too. Like I feel like stuff has been going on here too. None of us ever really talked about it with each other because it was just kind of you know, you just kind of keep those things to yourself and you kind of try to work through it and deal with it. I was like, well, let me go in and heal some stuff. Let me go in and do this and do that, which is the first thing you should be doing that anyway, right? You should, when stuff starts going crazy, you shouldn't automatically assume that it's spell work being done, you know, or it's at the hands of someone else. The first thing we do is we look at ourselves and be like, all right, well, where can I, you know, adjust and make, you know, what do I need to heal? What do I need to look at? So I feel like it was more so we were all doing that rather than assuming that it is something. But I feel like eventually you're just like, all right, I ain't responsible for all of this. I'm sorry. I'm not. Like, some of this shit is not me. You know, it's just not. Some of it ain't. So yeah, I mean, and that's when I started, you know, doing some divination, and I started hearing well, I'm gonna be honest with you, even back in 2020, when I started feeling things were kind of weird and the flies and stuff like that, I started hearing her name just in my ear. I started hearing her name, but I ignored it. I was just like, no, why would she do anything to me? Like, that's my mentor. She's supposed to love me. Like, I'm a mentor too to people. Like, I would never do anything to hurt them or, try to cause problems in their lives or anything like that. So for me, I was just like, no, I'm not like that now. And then I was thinking that since she said other people would be throwing at the group, that maybe it was those people putting stuff in my head. You know what I'm saying? But that's how
gaslighting.
That's the mind fuck right there. That's it. That's
the
the
mind fuck.
That's the mind fuck. That's crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And when you mentioned, things going downhill after the graduation, it took me to the conversation we had last night when we were breaking down ritual compliance. And, one of the practices is public gatherings, right? Performing these rituals at a public gathering. So it that tells me the graduations, are they some form of rituals, that most people are unaware of?
Big time. Oh, big time. Big time. I mean, even at the graduation, even at the graduation, there were, because Devi was in our room. Devi was in our room. So she had access to a lot of personal things. And she was right there neck and neck with Emme when they finally admitted that they were doing these attacks and rituals or whatever, whatever was going on, that they were coming for us or whatever. And I was like, was this all a plan the whole time? Like, because she asked, could she stay in our room?
And I'm so glad I followed my spirit when that came up. Because you just mentioned she asked, and I remember y'all sharing that with me too. She asked to stay in your room.
Yeah.
And the expo, the expo that took place in 2021, the one I spoke at, she reached out to me beforehand and asked me if my Airbnb was available during that weekend.
And I remember that.
You remember? And I shared with y'all. I said it really was available. No, I didn't have any bookings. I did get booked, sometime after that. But when she asked me, it was available. So I could have easily blocked off those days on the calendar and allow her to stay in. But something was, well, not something. Spirit was like, you better not do it.
Yeah. Because see, that was at the height around the expo. That was at the height of all of the so-called beef that we had no idea about. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I don't even know. I didn't even know we was beefing. Like, what the hell is going on here? But I remember thinking, like, even when I was going through that stuff after the graduation, my mind kept going back to her too. Like, well, damn, is she doing something? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because and then after the expo, I remember she was acting kind of weird after the expo, because remember we were all chilling at the homies, our girl's house. I'm not gonna mention, we're not gonna mention her name on here, but our our friend girl's house.
Yeah.
And was there, and remember she had like posted that weird picture on Facebook.
Yeah, she did. I was cut out of the picture.
You were cut out of the picture. She made a snarky remark about me, I guess, because I had a short, tight outfit or something like that. And I was just like, what the fuck is, like, what?
Right. That subtle shade. And also too, you remember I shared with you all, because we all can, but I definitely felt it when she came in, and I was like, what's up, Devi? And when I went to give her a hug, oh my God, that energy, baby, that energy was like, bitch, back the fuck up. Yeah.
It was odd. It was just like, I don't think I picked up on it I picked up on the energy between the two of you that
Mm-hmm.
night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was just weird. The expo was weird, period. Because
Yeah.
there were a few people in there that I thought I was cool with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then when we met in person at the expo, it was a
Yeah.
little shade. It was a little bit of shade.
The energy was different.
Yeah, it was
It
a
was
lot different.
different. And her energy, it really threw me for a loop because I was like, when I greeted her and I got that standoffish, reaction, I was like, damn, what is this about?
Yeah.
But it came out later on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But I still don't even know the root cause of that anyway.
Jealousy. That's all it was. Simply jealousy. I really believe once we formed Mastermind Collaboration, I think a lot of people got in their feelings and started to feel a certain way. Because I mean, we were doing the damn thing, and we were donating, and Emme was shouting us out whenever we would donate spots to her rituals, and we were doing the damn thing collectively and individually as well, because we all had our own thing going on too,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the main thing, which is really sad because, I thought that was her goal. I'm talking about Emme now. I thought her goal was to promote, Black women who were in business for themselves and who wanted to, hit that $1 million mark. I thought that that's what we were there for. But when you start, and this is what people need to realize, when you start shining and actually doing the thing that you're supposed to be doing, what you think you're there to do, that's when the hits start coming. Because unfortunately, you're dealing with a person who claims they want the best for you, who claims they want to see you win and all of that type of stuff. But when you actually start winning, and please don't be well-spoken. Please don't be able to put yourself together and be fly and be cute. You know what I'm saying? And got a little bit of twist and sass to you on top of that, because that's really going to put a target on your back. Like the people who don't have a target on their back, they are the ones who usually either work for her, bow down to her, kiss her butt, and place themselves underneath her. See, we never did any of that type of stuff. We never did none of that. We were always on our game, on our thing, doing what we're doing, promoting our businesses, and, still shouting her out and giving her love and everything too. It was never a competition thing. Not that I know of, but I feel like that's the main thing. And it wasn't just her, but it was quite a few people who were connected to that organization, connected to that community. And it's really sad because I feel like if she's running that type of community and she sees that as a problem, like one of her rituals should be eradicating jealousy immediately. You know what I mean? Like that should be one that you should be doing, eradicating jealousy and healing any wound inside of you that makes you feel like you're not enough, or you have to be in competition with the people who you're supposed to be in community with. Like that really should be the headline thing. Like in order for you to come in here, you're gonna have to work on this, and this, and then the next level, you're able to have access to more of this or whatever, like if you're going to run something like that, you really need, and you see that there's a recurring pattern that keeps happening over and over and over again, because every year, every single year is something. And it's always like after the expo, you know what I'm saying? It's like after the expo, and like right in that like February, March, April kind of time frame, where it's always something. Always. And if she can't see that right now, like the fact that she's not able to tap into that, I think she's so caught up in her own victimhood. Like they're always coming after me and trying to betray me and trying to be like me and want what I want, and they jealous of me. It's like if you feel jealousy, 9 times out of 10 is because you're projecting it.
For sure. And she's stated that publicly, that she battles with jealousy.
Oh, I never heard her say that, because if anything, I've only heard her say that she's not jealous. She don't have a jealous bone in her body.
No, she has said that before, that she actually battled. Well, in her words, she battled with jealousy. That was like one of her battles. Yeah. And it's still there. It's still there and very loud.
Very loud. Big time. And I think Devi's issue was that I think she wanted that spotlight. Like she wanted that. Because I remember one time, this was at the graduation. It was me and our other girlfriend. I just don't want to say her name because I want to keep her out of all of this.
Yeah, yeah.
We did like Fox was there, and Fox had interviewed us. And we did, we did what we do. You know what I mean? We do what we do when we're on TV, when we're being interviewed.
Right.
And so I remember when Emme had broadcasted it and played it live in the I think it was in the Magical Mystic group. And was it the Magical Mystic group, or did she just do it in the for the apprenticeship? I can't remember, but she said, Emme said this. She said, either one of these ladies could easily take my place and do what I'm doing. Either one of these ladies could at any time. That was right after graduation.
Right.
So that's when a lot of shit started being flown, and that's when I started really feeling a lot of that shit coming. And I was like, yo, so I think a large part of this was that people were in her ear. You know what I'm saying? On top of her probably battling with her own insecurities and jealousy. But I also feel like people were in her ear, telling her things that were not true about us.
Yeah, for sure. That takes me to, and I talked about it in, I think it's the third video I did here, on the channel, and I talked about the day her manipulation tactics became clear, where, and I think this was back in, what year was this? Had to be, it was in 2020. Yeah, it was in 2020, because it was like a few days before we left for our New Orleans trip. Remember when we went to New Orleans for Halloween?
Yeah, for Halloween.
So it was in 2020, October 2020. And that's when that whole debacle came about. Apparently, 2 or 3 of her apprentices came back to her and told her that I was throwing at them, and that there was a whole bunch of drama going down in Diamond Leaders. And when I got ready to put that video together, I went back and I listened to the voice clips, because I just wanted to make sure, because it's been a while. So I just wanted to make sure that I tell the story as it is, And when I listened to it, I'm like, either there's one or two things happen. Either she concocted that whole situation to start something with me, or, people was just trying to be messy and start shit. But it's like, for you to be in a position that you're in with all of your magical and spiritual abilities, how can you let those that you mentor influence you in that way?
100%.
Yeah.
It still falls on her. It still falls back on her.
Right.
Because if you're leading all of these, as many people as you say you lead, then there is a level of responsibility and accountability that you have to have. Like, if people in your group are fighting each other and jealous and bickering, and it's always some drama going on, that's a trickle down effect. You know what I'm saying? That comes from the top down. It doesn't come from the bottom up. So there is something about you that is attracting this kind of energy within your group. You need to step back, take a break, and cleanse yourself, because you keep attracting all this drama. Everybody is not jealous of you. Everybody's not trying to betray you. Everybody is not trying to take over and be like you and all of this other stuff. Everybody can't be wrong. You know what I mean?
Right.
Some people, like you, at some point, you have to say, let me take a break from everything. Let me just clean the slate and start all over again. And before I get started, let me look at why I am attracting this BS in my life, in my business, in my relationships, and the people that I work with. I have never had any, in all of my years of working with other people in the capacity that I work with them, which is, you know, on a healing journey, you know, doing hypnosis stuff, you know, teaching pretty much along the similar lines, you know, I have never had any issues with any clients. I haven't. I really haven't.
Right. And but unfortunately for me, the issues that I have had with my past clients, it all came about after this whole, this whole thing spawned, because most of them came from her community.
Well, that part.
Right.
That part.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, and that's something that I do want to talk about, later on when after you're done sharing your story. But, and that was so unfortunate because I had great relationships with them, and if it wasn't for this situation with Em, we would still have a connection. They would still be clients of mine.
Yeah.
We had great relationships. You know what I mean? So it's unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. This whole situation is just really a clusterfuck.
It is, and we're talking about this so that you can people who are listening. Hey, what's up, Rona? Welcome. Thank you. So that people who are listening, people who are out there listening can understand that first of all, you're not crazy. If you start feeling like there's something coming at you from people and you're like, okay, I know it's not me. You know, there's ways to check if it's you or if somebody else, right? There's ways for you to figure that out. So you're not crazy, because for a while I thought I was crazy. I thought I didn't really trust my intuition when I kept hearing her name. This is way in the beginning. I kept hearing her name. So I didn't trust my intuition. I should have gotten out then, to be honest. Like, I really just should have said, you know what, I think I'm going to back out of this and, do something else. I should have just done that. But to one, trust yourself, and two, just do your due diligence, like really, really vet. And I thought I vetted her pretty well. I really thought that I did. But again, the glamours, we got to talk about the glamours. The glamour spells are all over her business and her community, right? It's all over her. So sometimes when you aren't able to pull yourself away, then it may be that you are caught up in the glamour spell. I'm gonna be honest with you, her doing the lifestyle promotion, right? Like you said, she drew you in with the new Maserati.
The Maserati, yeah, right? Manifesting the Maserati. I was like, oh, because for one, again, like I said, I was already in that space of deep diving into manifestation. And for two, I love cars. So I'm like, oh, Maserati, let me see what's going on over here. Yeah.
Absolutely. She taps into that part of us that wants, better, the part of us that wants the glamour and the glitz and the luxury and things like that. And I think that's unfortunately that's one of the main ways a lot of coaches get their clients these days, because everybody who doesn't want more money? Who doesn't want to live a luxurious lifestyle, right? Who doesn't want that? But I feel like that on top of the glamour spells, and if you're a person that is really attracted to that type of lifestyle, then that is going to hook you. The glamour spell is gonna hook you in. So if you can't break free, or for some reason you can't help yourself, you got to buy something, right? Immediately, as soon as you got into that community, you started spending money. So a lot of that is spell work. And honestly, how can I say this? Lavette, you could probably word it better. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that it's something that businesses do, right?
As what? As far as what?
As far as luring you in and attracting you in, like is something that all businesses do.
Right. That's branding.
Branding, right?
Right. That's branding. Branding is all about building your business that resonates with your target audience.
Yeah.
Right. So when they see the brand, they see themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a form of glamour as well. Right. But when we use it in a deceptive manner, hint, hint, Rain,
Yeah.
we add and there's nothing wrong with using, sprinkling a little bit of magic on it. If you know that you're authentic, you're genuine, and you truly have something to offer that will help elevate and make the lives of your audience better, there's nothing wrong with sprinkling a little bit of magic onto it, because the marketplace and depending on the industry that you're in, it's saturated. Right?
Yeah.
There's room for everybody, yes, but you do need to do certain things to make sure that you set your business apart so that those within your segmented group, the segmented target audience group, to ensure that they choose you over your competitor. Okay,
Yeah.
that's just business, right? But when you use magic to manipulate people, to use their energy for your nefarious agendas and motives, we're talking about a different ball game.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
very different. It's very
yeah.
different. And then if a person stops spending money with you or
Mm-hmm.
decides to pull their energy back because they're picking up on certain personality traits and things that they're like, I don't know if I want to be in this anymore, or something's a little bit off here, or even just the drama, just all the drama all the time is something going on. There's always a beef, there's always a conflict, there's always a ritual going to punish the people who have wronged her.
Right.
So when people want to pull their energy back, then you get attacked. So when people hit me up, people are hitting me up all the time
I was about to say
about,
that. Yeah, I was
yeah,
about to say, going back to when you mentioned, everyone can't be wrong, and I was going to say, Rain, there's nothing that you can say to disprove what we're saying.
right.
You cannot say we're making up lies, we're making up these stories, because first thing you like to say, oh, we're jealous of you, we want what you have. No, ma'am, we don't want what you have,
I don't want
because in
nothing to
order
say.
for us to want what you have, we have to also want everything that comes with being you, and we don't want it.
Nope.
Okay. So, but what I did want to say, there's nothing that you can say, there's nothing that she can say, because people are coming to you, what, every week now.
Every
People are
week.
reaching out to
Every
you.
week.
And
Every
I've
week.
had a few people reach out to me.
Every week. Yep. Every week somebody is coming in and saying, I'm so happy that you all are talking about this. I
Mm-hmm.
thought that I was crazy, or I've been, feeling like I need to get away from this community for a while and I don't know what to do. And I'm telling them to back out slowly. Just back out slowly. Just take your energy back a little bit at a time. Don't try to, take it out too soon, because whatever that entity is that's in her, riding her, around her, or whatever she got going on over there, it catches on. It catches on the minute you start to break the glamour, break free of the glamour spell. Most of the time it happens with people who are healing, because I know for me, when I started healing my codependency issues, that's when a lot of the blinders started coming off, and I started really seeing exactly what was happening. And that was like right around after the expo. I kind of started feeling, I just noticed that the energy shifted, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that was right around
Mm-hmm.
the time I had really started doing some intensive healing work on, getting myself out of codependent behaviors. And once that started happening, the blinders just fell away and I started seeing things for what it was, for real. And that's when it just kind of made me just say, all right, you know, I'm going to just stop. I had stopped listening to her lives already because listening to the lives were draining.
Right.
And I would leave afterwards feeling heavy and just feeling shitty, to be honest with you, outright shitty. I would just emotionally feel like crap after listening to her lives. And so I was like, okay, I can't listen to these lives anymore. And that was just at the point when I knew I was just going to probably just, you know, disappear, you know what I mean? And just kind of go off the scene from that community because it was just starting to be too much.
Yeah. And that moment for me, I mean, and I'll be honest with you, while I was over there, while I was over there in that community, throughout the time of being over there, I was noticing things, you know, I really was noticing things that she would say in her live videos. Anytime, another thing too, she's been destiny swapping for a very long time. Because I've noticed this. Oh my goodness, yes. I've noticed this many a times. I would have an idea, and then all of a sudden, I see her talking about it, presenting it in a way, or now she created a new product, and I'm like, yo, that's literally the same idea I've had. And it happened like on 3 separate occasions. It was so weird to me. But at that time, I didn't know what destiny swapping was. I had never even heard of the term.
Yeah.
So, you know, there were things that took place, and it, you know, just kind of made me give it the side eye. But because I was also healing, I question it, right? I question it by asking myself, okay, is this something that you're truly seeing, or are you going back to self-sabotaging like you always do? So that was my conflict. But the final kicker for me was after the expo, really at the expo. Because remember, I said once I got off of stage, that look she gave me, and I mean, she looked me dead in my eye, you know, so it wasn't, oh, maybe she wasn't looking at me. No, she was looking right at me. And she gave me that look, and I was like, okay, yeah, I know how you feel about me, so I'm good. I don't need to be a part of your community anymore. And after that, it was up from there.
All from jealousy. I mean, it's sad because it's like, how little do you think of you? How little do you have to think of yourself to be that jealous of somebody where you're not even going to congratulate them after they showed up for your event, killed it, did an amazing job. You know what I mean? Lavette had a whole presentation. Nobody else did that. She was the only one of the speakers that had a full-on presentation that was laid out, organized. You know what I mean? And basically, she just got like a standing ovation afterwards. And I'm like, how could you? This is your event. How could you not go up to her and say, girl, thank you so much. That was amazing. You know, you did an excellent job or whatever. And then just go home and deal with your own jealousy yourself. Like, go home and deal with yourself instead of projecting that onto somebody else. That's how you know you're dealing with a unevolved person who poses like they are so evolved and so healed and all of that, but they're really not. Like, you can't even stop yourself in your tracks and say, I am tripping. You know, okay, I'm feeling a way about this woman because she just came in here and like did the damn thing. Let me go congratulate her, and then tonight I'm gonna go home and do some work around why I feel the way I feel. That is how a person who is mature in spirit handles things. You're a human being. You're gonna feel some things. You know what I mean? You can't avoid that, but you got to learn how to manage yourself in such a way where you're not destroying relationships and destroying other people on top of that, you know, because you cannot get a grip on your own mind. That's a real problem. And that's a scary person to be around, who, as soon as they feel a way about you, all of a sudden they're going to attack you.
They attack you.
That's
and
crazy.
And what makes it scarier is So that was the energy she gave me at the expo. But I believe while I was on stage, she logged into Facebook and she put up a post on her page. Lavette Men is killing it. This presentation that she's presenting, she can easily charge $1,000 for it. I wish I would have screenshotted that, because that will be another expose video that I will put together. Because when she did that live on us back in April of 2022, she was like, yeah, she spoke at my expo and it was full of shit. It's always been full of shit. But while I'm at the expo on the stage, you literally put up a post saying, oh my God, this presentation that Lavette is presenting is, it's awesome. I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact words, but I do remember her saying that. And I do remember her saying she could easily turn this into a course and charge $1,000 or something like that, right? While I'm at the expo.
But why could
this
she
is
just
how
say
you're
it to
feeling,
you? Like, that's so weird to me.
right? That's what I mean. And this is the look you gave me really showed how you felt, followed by the attacks, the ritual, the public live. And it's just like, that is a very scary situation. And people like that are dangerous to be around.
Yeah, they are.
Oh my
They're
goodness.
very dangerous. They're very dangerous, because it's one thing to feel like it's one thing to feel jealous or envious or whatever, right? It's one thing to feel that way. And like I said, go take care of it by doing your own inner work. You should never be projecting that onto anybody. And when jealousy and envy starts to make you go after a person, that's when you have a problem. Like, you have a real problem, because this woman was hooting and hollering and talking about how she was going to hurt people's kids and make the people sick and give them all types of diseases. And, like, really? You're doing all of that? And this is the kicker. The people that you're talking about, the people that you're doing this ritual for, have no idea why you're mad at them. Right. You did not pick up the phone. You did not say anything. You just started attacking.
Mm-hmm.
Why would anybody want to follow a person like that? Like, the people who are still following her, I'm convinced they're only following her because they don't know any of this stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But she still talks about it, and she still goes lives, and she still does these rituals against people to hurt people. So you are seeing it, but you're still over there. Like, that's weird to me. But I get it.
I get it too, because I think a part of that is they're enamored by her bravery. Someone that is bold enough to get on video and say the things that she says, showing her fearlessness. And I think a lot of people are enamored with that, on top of them being under the enchantments and the glamours.
Right.
Now, me mentioning the enchantments and the glamours, I do want to state a disclaimer, okay? This is not something that we're assuming. She has publicly said that she has glamored and enchanted her business and herself. She has publicly said this. I know for sure she shared this in her Legacy Builders course as well. Mm-hmm. And a part of that strategy is to get you to trust her, because when someone is upfront about a situation that most people would hide and keep to themselves, it makes you trust them even more.
Right.
So that is all a little trick and a ploy to get you to trust, so that she could continue to carry out her plans, whatever her plans are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. And that's the thing. Like, I don't have a problem with the glamours, like whatever you do for your business or whatever. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem when people because the other thing she would do, because people would just be buying her stuff and they couldn't afford it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The other thing she would do, she would go live and she would say, you all do not need to be spending your last dime buying my stuff. I don't want you out here spending your rent money and spending, your bill money on my products. Don't do that. But this is the thing. these people are under a spell, honey, one that you've casted, one that you have put all over your brand, all over your products. So even if they are trying not to, if they're not mentally strong enough, I'm not saying that everybody falls prey to that, because everybody doesn't. But if you're not mentally well, if you're not mentally strong enough, and you think that your destiny is in a bottle of oil, and you think that you need this particular product to assist you in getting a certain result in your life, if you really believe that, then of course that's going to affect you. But if you understand that the magic is in you, you don't really need nobody else. You really do not. You don't need nobody else, for real. You may need somebody to, heal you. I mean, not heal you, but help you heal and things like that. But you don't need an oil. You don't need a talisman. You don't need a rock. You don't need a crystal. You don't need any of that stuff, to be honest with you. Because if the person that you purchased it from can push their intention into it, they can push in the intention of healing or the intention of wealth into a product, so can you.
Absolutely.
They ain't more strong than you. They may have less blockage than you do, but that doesn't, they're no more powerful than you are. They just may have a little bit more knowledge, and they may have less blockage. So if you start empowering yourself and believing that you have what you need, you don't really need to look outside of yourself for that. But she has a lot of people over there who look outside of themselves, and that's a large part of why she's able to have such a hold on these people's minds, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a question for you. So with everything that we've shared so far within the first hour, what are some tips that you have for those that are watching that may still be in that community or any spiritual community, and they may have fallen under, unfortunately fallen under a spiritual attack? What are some tips, or what advice would you give them?
I would say the first thing you need to do is cleanse yourself and your space, and start learning how to not necessarily block out energy, but you need to learn and understand how to protect your own energy field, to make sure that you are doing your cleansing, clarifying and cleansing work every single day, and that you are putting up protections over your dome, over your head, that you make sure you shut the doorway to your subconscious mind, so she can't dream walk you. So she cannot penetrate your mental field, because that's a lot of what happens, right? A lot of people that we've talked to, including ourselves, right, have dealt with some sort of mental cloudiness or inability to judge or differentiate things or be discerning about certain things. You might be thinking that, this is a person over here that's sending you some sort of attack, but really it's coming from over in that direction or from that community. So I think that the first thing is to protect your dome, protect your head, your eyes, your mouth, your nose, your ears, and block out anybody's ability to dream walk you.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree.
Because once that access is had, once you get access to that, it's kind of all downhill from there, because it gets really difficult to detach from a person who has that type of access to you, and their intentions are not good at all. It's really difficult to break away from that. And then back away slowly from the community. Like I said, take your time, back away from it. You don't have to be over there. You don't have to look at anything, but energetically, just, you know, I think I told this to somebody, I can't remember who it was. I think it was one of the people that called me earlier this week. And I was just like, just energetically, like incrementally pull your energy back, like maybe 5% a week, pull your energy back. Like just, and what I mean by that is whatever you invested in, money-wise, time-wise, classes, you know, consultations, readings, things like that. Just imagine you pulling back. If you put 80% into that energetically, imagine you taking back about 5-10% of that every week. That'll take you about what, 8 weeks to pull everything, you know, pull everything back from that. So I would say do it slowly, because the moment you do it too rapidly, that is when that entity that she's dealing with, entities that she's dealing with, I feel like they get alerted to it. And that's when you start feeling the attacks coming your way. I've had to tell several people that.
Yeah.
What would you say? What advice would you give them?
You know, I always say, first and foremost, you know, you don't automatically believe or not believe what is being said. Pay attention for yourself. I think that's the first thing. Pay attention to what's happening, what's being said. You know, pay attention to the rituals. When I say the rituals, I'm not talking about the actual physical rituals with the deities and with the candles. I'm talking about the repeated acts, the repeated rage baits, the repeated lashing out, the repeated attacks on people. Just pay attention to the full cycle of what happens in these communities. And I'm not just talking about her community, whatever community you're a part of. Awareness, heightened awareness. Pay attention to how you feel after you engage. Pay attention to any shifts that may take place in your life as well. Just pay attention to certain things. And at the end of it, I want you to take inventory on, have you noticed any increases, any growth, or any declines and setbacks in your life? And then from that moment, make a decision on whether you're going to separate yourself or continue to engage. Now, if you decide to disconnect and separate yourself, then all of the tips and advice that Shara just mentioned, you can start implementing those.
Big time. 100%. Yeah. Paying attention is huge. And I think a lot of people that we've been talking to who've been hitting us up, that's what's happening right now. They're, like one person said that after they listened to us talking about this, that something just clicked inside of them, and all of a sudden they were able to see. You know what I mean? So I feel like what we're doing is super important. And I feel like anyone out there who feels like they want to say something, but maybe people are telling you not to, because some people tell me not to say anything. Some people are like, just don't get involved in it, ignore it, it happened. It is what it is. You know, people have been telling us to be quiet. People have been, you know, suggesting that it's not going to help, it's not going to do anything. Right. My goal for this, and I want to know what your goal is too, Lavette. My goal for this is, and my why is to help people, is to break the spell for people. Because I feel like that's what we're doing. And I feel like when Spirit talked to me about doing this, I didn't want to. I was like, I just want to mind my business. I don't really want to get involved in this shit. Like I'm done. Like the past 2.5 years have been enough. But Spirit said, this is helping break the spell. You know, not only in my life, but also helping others too. So I feel like my goal is mainly to help people open their eyes and break the spell. So they were like, oh my God, this whole time I've been in here doing this and I didn't even realize what I was doing, you know?
Right.
So I feel like for me, that's the main goal. Obviously, I would love, I would love to, you know, see her take a step back. And I'm not even saying that I want her to lose everything, because I don't. I'm not, that's not in me to do that to somebody else, because I feel like if I'm wishing that on somebody, then in turn I'm wishing it on myself. But what my goal would be is to have her take a step back from this, reevaluate yourself, go handle your shit, and then maybe come back and do it in a different way. I don't know, but I feel like the more she keeps going, because she's been warned. She's been warned by spirit. Her spirit team has warned her. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to somebody today. Again, today. I didn't even tell you about that. I talked to somebody today.
Okay. Yeah.
Who set up a consultation, and we ended up talking about this.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? A whole different person. This is a totally, you know. So this makes what, 2 this week already, and it's only Tuesday.
Right.
And this person also said that she received a message that she has been warned to stop doing what she's doing. Otherwise, she is going to lose everything, and she will not be able to recover it.
Yeah.
So she
I think
keeps
it's written
going,
anyway.
That's
I
what's
believe
happen.
it's inevitable, because so many laws have been broken, so many lines have been crossed, and it's to the point of no return. So, I mean, I honestly believe that even if she was to stop and trying to make amends and do the right thing, it's too late.
It's too late.
It's too late.
It's too late.
So many boundaries have been crossed. It's too late. Some things just can't be undone.
Yeah, she's broken a lot of laws. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
laws.
Yeah, a lot of spiritual violations. But my goal is also to break the spell, raise awareness as well, and to piggyback off of what you shared with me, and I'm definitely going to work on those t-shirts probably like toward the end of this month or sometime in January.
Oh, yay!
For sure. You'll be getting your shirt for sure. But making spirituality safe again.
Yeah.
It's not safe.
Yeah.
Because even if you talk to people, that's not like last night we talked about the Twin Flames community, and there's other spiritual communities as well where people have been violated and portrayed and hurt so bad detrimentally. And that's the thing that enrages me, because spirituality is really, really a beautiful path.
It really is.
It really is. Even though in the beginning you have to face so many dark things, so many hurtful things that you don't want to face, but it's just a part of the work. And, you know, I can't speak for anyone else, but for me, oh my God, it feels so good spending time with myself, meditating, even when things come up that occurred in my past that I need to heal, even though it hurts. Because remember, I had that conversation with you where I kept crying on the phone, remember? So even though it hurts and it can be overly emotional, but being able to face it head on and heal through it is such a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is.
And then to grow from it as well, so that you can impart the lessons and the wisdom that you gain from it on someone else or with someone else, to help them elevate in their lives and on their path as well. It's such a beautiful journey. I love it. Right. But then when you come across people that abuse the power and the beauty in it, I honestly see why spirituality is demonized the way it is. In a mainstream sense, I see why, because when you put it in the hands of this person that, you know, someone like this person that we're speaking of and other spiritual leaders, and you see how they abuse it to manipulate and to create these cults where they control people and they have them do things that is so inhumane. Spirituality it's no longer safe anymore.
Yeah.
So for me, it's breaking the spells, raising awareness, and playing a part in making spirituality safe again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amen. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it's important to have more conversations like this too, because exactly what you just said about why people are scared of it. You know, they're scared of it because it's not because of the demons and the, you know, the entities and all of that stuff. I mean, you know, however you interpret that stuff, that's left up to a personal interpretation, but it's how we use it, how we use them, because I have worked with, you know, entities that could be considered the most dangerous to work with.
Right.
But in working with those energies, I healed tremendously. Like I healed a lot of really deep rooted stuff. And I don't think I would have been able to go there had I not worked with that particular entity that everybody tells you not to work with, you know? And it wasn't about selling my soul. It wasn't about giving anything over to, it wasn't anything about that. It was about facing myself, you know, and walking away from things that just do not serve me, which is really interesting because I worked with that entity right in that time frame where everything, right before everything exploded. And I worked with that entity in 2021 and everything exploded in 2022. Which is so interesting.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about, but I ain't gonna say it all here because I don't want to be like, oh Lord, was she? No, honey, it ain't that. Like,
right.
I just ain't scared. I ain't scared. So yeah, so I think that these are really important conversations for us to have. Okay, so before we get off, do you want to address the other person?
Absolutely. I was going to ask you that.
Okay.
That's crazy. I was literally going to ask you if you would like to address the truth alchemist, also known as the lingerie alchemist. Yes, you, ma'am. You. So would you like to address that whole situation? I know you know, both of us, we actually interviewed on her channel and we talked a little bit about, I mean, during the interview, how we met. You know, we didn't know her beforehand. We encountered her recently. So I'll let you, you know, I did a whole video on her, so I'll let you speak on it.
Right. Yeah. You know, the main thing that I have to say about Dominique, I'm gonna say her real name, lingerie alchemist, the truth alchemist. The main thing that I have to say about her is that I thought we were all aiming for the same goal and same mission, you know, which is the whole reason why Lavette and I decided to be involved with her in the first place. We both recognized that there was something a little bit, you know, not 100% there together. But, you know, like Lavette addressed in her video, we were basically kind of acting as like coaches to her, you know, because that's just what we do naturally. Naturally, we want to help people. So when I saw that Lavette had interviewed with her, I was like, okay, you know, I trust her judgment. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'll go ahead and do it too, because if you know, she's going through something that a lot of people have gone through and we all have the same goal. So that was the purpose in me doing the interview with her. You know, like Lavette said, we never met her before. We don't know her from a can of paint, you know, and, you know, she's not somebody that I would necessarily be hanging out with anyway, like that. But I saw a person who had gone through something with the same person that I had gone through something with. And since we are on this, like this mission to, you know, support people who are speaking out, it was about supporting her, you know. I didn't need to, like she was saying, that I re-traumatized myself after getting, I was like, no, I can talk about this without being re-traumatized. I was like, I know how to cleanse and clear my energy. I'm fine. Like, I'm not re-traumatized.
Right.
You know, like, believe me, honey, I've been going through this for almost 3 years. I'm straight. Believe me, I know how to do what I got to do.
And I mean, even when we were going through it, in the thick of it, we really weren't traumatized.
No, not at all.
We were just like, well, we just got to do what we got to do. You know,
gotta do what we got to do. Yeah,
right.
It was never a time that we felt like, oh God, I have to survive. This is so hard. What is going on? If anything, we was pissed off. Like, like for real?
Like, yeah, like real anger.
Pull up. Like fuck all this really magic shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing here? Because you know, we speak very, you know, classy and keep it classy and all of that, but let's keep it 100% here. You know, we wasn't born with no silver spoons in our mouths. You know what I'm saying? We're not from Beverly Hills. So I know how to go to the other side if I need to. So if anything, that's where we were operating in that energy. It was never from a traumatized state. And any trauma that I felt was from trauma that accumulated way in the past that was revisiting me. Had nothing to do with that community. Like, ain't nobody over there gonna traumatize nothing. But you know, I was really confused about Dominique's issue with you, Lavette, and with when she mentioned you know, when she mentioned our other friend. I'm not gonna bring her up either because she's not here. So I was very confused by that. I didn't know what the hell was going on. And she hit me up and mentioned that she didn't have a problem with me. She knows that I was friends with you all. And she knows that if something were to go down, that who I would side with. And I'm just like, the fuck, are we in high school? Like, what are you talking about? So I hit her up and I said, look, I don't know what's going on. As far as I know, 2 days ago, everything was cool. You know what I mean? So there's not going to be any, because she was like, if a war breaks out, you know, I already know whose side you're going to be. I said, there's not going to be any witch wars. Because first of all, for me to have a witch war with somebody, you need to really be coming with it. Like, you're going to have to be a powerful being for me to even waste my time to do something like that. That's the first thing. The most I'm gonna do is just block you out of my energy field and act like you never existed. But to really be throwing magic at you, baby doll, ain't nobody got to do all of that. Like I said, that's not gonna happen. I said,
and for her to even mention that, to even try to incite a witch war, like I want you again, evaluating the fragmented mind and unstable emotions. How the hell we get all the way to if a war breaks out? That shouldn't have even been in your vocabulary. If a war breaks out, all because you felt some kind of way because I started the Exposing Emme channel. That's really where it stemmed from.
That's really what happened.
That was the first domino piece, right?
Yeah.
And then when I made the comment when she was interviewing Colette, and I guess because she was already in her feelings, she read it a certain way. Right. She read it in a certain tone, but I was actually responding to her when she told Colette. Colette was like, oh, you told me I didn't have to come on camera. And she said something, again, I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember exactly what she said verbatim, but she said, oh, people want to know who you are and make sure that it's the real person telling the story or something like that. So I responded and I was like, if she's comfortable with not being on camera, that's okay. And baby,
Chad, you was like Putin pressing that damn button, Chad.
Right.
Lord of mercy. You just started a whole war.
I'm like, girl. And then when you told me that's what she said to you, I was like, man, nobody's gonna go in no war with you. Calm down.
Because what pissed me off was she was like, I'm really sorry I had to put your name in it. I said, wait. I said, you said my name?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's something you really want to like rethink that. Like, what? And that's how I was just like, look, I said, if you don't have a problem with me, that you don't even put my name in anything. And then there doesn't need to be a witch war. But if you're declaring war, because the fact that you bringing that up, that means that you're declaring something, or you got something up your sleeve, or you ready to, like, you know, go with something. Like, I was like, you need to be real careful with what you're saying. You know, I got the video, I mean, the voice clips and stuff. I was like, you need to be real careful with that. I said, and for you to assume, I said, I'm a grown woman, for you to assume that just because I'm close with these women, that if y'all start going at having a witch war and ain't nothing coming my way and I'm not involved, do you think I'm gonna get involved? Like, I'm not a child. They grown, they don't need my help. And you crazy as hell for even trying to do that anyway with these people. You must be out your mind. Like, you really trying to go after these two women?
Yeah.
The fact that you doing a whole video on people you do not know. They didn't do anything to you. If anything, all Lavette did was try to help you, because everything that she was doing in her videos, I knew it was you. I was just like, Lavette did that. Lavette did that. Lavette did that's Lavette. Because this girl didn't even know how to hit record at one point. So I already knew that was you behind the scenes trying to assist her, just trying to be helpful. You know what I mean? And it wasn't even about like, oh, I'm gonna help you go after Emme. It wasn't even that. It was just like, oh, let me help this woman. She's trying to start her. I know you. I know how you are.
Yeah.
I know how you are. I know that you'd be like, I'm just gonna help her because, you know, I already know that.
Right.
So for her to go there like that, first of all, that shows just how mentally weak she is. That's first thing. Just how mentally weak you are. Because whatever M was putting on that child, and let's be clear, we both I'm not an M Rain fan at all. Okay.
At all.
Trust me. She has done enough to, you know, be shit on my boob. So
yeah.
But I get it. I get why she did what she did to that girl, because that girl was getting on her nerves, was harassing her, and now we're seeing it. You know what I mean? So now we're seeing it, and I'm like, yo, is something wrong with you? You know, like anytime that you're not able to even see that you got people, you don't know us, first of all. You don't really know our pedigree like that. So of course, you know, that's the number one mistake. The pedigree speaks for itself. So she didn't know who you were, she doesn't know who I am, and she don't know who our other friend is. So that's her first mistake. Then on top of that, you are allowing M to use you as a tool. For real, she's using you as a damn garden tool. That's what she's doing. You know, because she was like, oh shit, well, I know they gonna get in her ass. Like if she get on their nerves, we already know they gonna give it to her hard. Right. So she's using you as a tool to hurt yourself, pretty much. Pretty much. That's really what she did.
Yeah.
You know? But thankfully, we're not petty enough to do anything to someone like you who is a baby in magic. And we can clearly see that you're healing right now. So there's no reason to have a war with you, because there would not be a war. It wouldn't even last a half of a day.
Facts.
So nobody's doing that. Nobody has time to be utilizing their energy and their magic that way. I have too many things to do. Lavette has too many things to do. Nobody has time for that. We don't have time for that. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say about that. You know,
there are 9 people tuning in. I can't see YouTube side, but I can see that there are 9 people tuning in. If you haven't already, please like the video. Please like the video. I have to remember to say that.
Oh yeah,
on your way in or on your way out, please like the video. It will help us to grow this channel. It will put us in favor within the algorithms, because we do have a lot planned for this channel, you know, sharing a lot of information with you all, sharing tips and tricks, not tips and tricks, but tips and advice, excuse me, to help you heal on your journey, to grow in your awareness and all of the good things. So in exchange, please just like the video and comment too. You can engage with us if you have anything you would like to share.
Yeah.
If you want to hop up here with us as well, I can drop the link in the chat and you can join us. So just comment and engage with us. That would be great.
Lavette, did you want to share your experience about what happened? Because I know that she came at you all, and we're talking about Emme now. We're off home chick. She came at you pretty hard on that live that she did, the one, you know, where she was all hollering and screaming and hooting, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So, and I know people have been waiting to hear your truth, your side of the story of what happened. Do you want to share that tonight?
Yeah. I mean, I've told my story by now. You know, I've told my story a few times.
Yeah.
So people are aware of my role in all of this. I'm innocent. I didn't do it. I didn't do nothing.
Right.
But yes, she did come for me really hard in that live, and she came for me really hard magically as well with the spiritual attacks. There are some things that I'll probably never share publicly, just to protect what, you know, the situation that occurred, just to protect the individuals involved. But I will say that, you know, someone near and dear to me was severely impacted. Yeah, that was just so unfortunate. There were a few experiences that I've had. Honestly, there was one, I'll say there was maybe two situations that were extreme. But I'll share one of the lesser extreme situations that occurred. Okay. And I'll share this for educational purposes. So one of the side effects of being attacked spiritually was losing most of my friends, attacking the relationships. And she mentioned in the Divine Retribution live she did, she called out several things that she was aiming at. And one of those things were taking away all who love you. And I will say she did that. Not everyone, but for the most part, a big percentage of my friends. And I'm talking about friends that I go way back with, middle school, 20, 25 years, you know, even up to most recent, you know, new people I became friends with. And we really created a healthy, respectful, and caring friendship. You know, it was a healthy friendship. Even those people, you know, one of those people I'll call out. Everyone knows Serafina. She was definitely hit. Serafina and I, we had a friendship, but it wasn't a friendship where we talked all the time, you know. But when we came together, you know. And we were like, okay, let's meet up, let's go have lunch. I remember when she launched her content space, I went all the way out there and you know, visited her, and you know, I was happy for her, and we talked and everything like that. And I mean, I won't go into the whole situation,
right?
But it was one point where, you know, something occurred. It was a very unfortunate situation that took place within our friend group, right, with a mutual friend. And that brought us together, and we started talking more. We were on the phone more, and we were texting more than ever before. So all was well. And then all of a sudden one day she disappeared for about a month. And I'm texting her and I'm like, are you okay? No text, no call, nothing. And I'm like, I hope she's okay. At this point, I'm like, do I need to call the police and find out if she's missing? I hope nothing's wrong with her. And then one day she finally texts me back and she was like, oh, I'm okay. X, Y, and Z, I'm okay. I just was just going through some things. I just had to step away, but I'm okay. And I'm like, okay, cool. After that, I hadn't heard anything from her. And we did need to have a conversation because it was something that she owed me, right? So, but I was like, she said she was going through something, so I'll leave it be, let her get through it. So like another month passed and I started seeing her pop up on Facebook and I saw that she was back doing her music and things like that. So I reached out to her and I'm like, okay, it seems like all is well. So let's go ahead and revisit this situation because this is still owed. And she just flipped on me. And one of the things she said to me, I was upset. When I responded to her, I cursed at her because the way she responded to me, it was very obvious that she was gaslighting me. So, and I'm very aware. So that pissed me off. Like, don't play with me. Don't play in my face. You know what I mean? So when I responded to her, I was irate and, and rightfully so, because I wanted her to know, I see what you're doing. I see the tactic. Don't play with me because that's not the case. But what she said was, I can't be friends with someone that thinks lowly of their friends. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm looking through all of our text thread, our text messages that we've exchanged with each other over the last couple of months, and everything was positive and support. You got it. You could do it. She was even going after government contracts, and we would go back and forth. Okay, fill this form out this way, send it this way. Here's the email. I'm helping you. I help anybody that comes around me. You have no choice but to be great because that's just my energy, and I don't mind helping people. So when she said that, at first I was confused, but as time went by, I was like, yeah, that was a part of the attack because she was one of the people that, she really supported me. She really supported my business, and any business need that she had, I was the only person she would come to. You see what I mean? So that's the type of relationship. We had a friendship, but we also had a business relationship as well. And she was a standard client. Like I said, anytime she had a business need, she would reach out to me. And it's crazy because I was getting ready to work with her and partner with her because she's in the tech space as well. So she knows the software engineering. She knows that side, the technical side. So I wanted to work with her because I really do want like an all-woman team. You know what I mean? Everybody has their own business, but we all plug into each other. So that was something that I was working on, really bringing her in and helping me with the technical side. And when that happened, of course, initially, you just react out of anger, like, what are you talking about? Don't play with me. But as time went on, I was like, damn, yeah, she was hit. And then everybody started getting hit one by one. This friend, we talking every day, 4 or 5 hours. Next thing I know, boom, you disappear. And they just, so that was definitely one of the side effects. And it's unfortunate. I know that whole situation will heal and we'll eventually get back together again.
I feel that too.
Because we're working on breaking the spells and breaking the glamours. And once it's broken, they'll see like, wait a minute. What happened? You know what I mean? They'll see. But when you're going through it, when you're in the middle of it, oh, it hurts like hell.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it hurts like hell.
That makes a lot of sense too, because I know that right at the turn of 2022, like right as we were leaving, the end of 2021 and going into 2022, I also, like the person that I was dating at that time, we, I ended things, excuse me, with him. One of my, really close best friends of like 30 years, we fell out. And then right after that is when Emme came back from her wedding or whatever that was, and started, that's when she came back and did that divine retribution ritual. So that's a running theme of, you know, breaking up relationships and, you know, just throwing a lot of wreaking a lot of havoc in people's lives and trying to tear you away from the things that could keep you stable and keep you like your support system, trying to tear your support system down. You know,
and to isolate you.
Yeah,
because you know, I and I'm about to use color. I mean, I've said a few colorful words, but I'm getting ready to curse again. I don't give a fuck what Emme said about, you know, we decided to click up and come against her. First of all, yeah, we clicked up because we got along. Our energies meshed well with each other, but it definitely wasn't to come against her, right?
Fuck
but
no.
Right. But also, I'm grateful for the click up, because when you're going through something like this, you need people around you that understand.
You need somebody.
You need somebody that understand. And that can also jump in and help you if it gets to that point. Let's be honest, because it's a fucking war, right?
Yeah.
So when you see Ukraine and Russia, I want to be careful with the words I use. Right. It's not just one person on Team Ukraine and one person on Team Russia. It's a whole militant group, right? And they're strategically positioned and align themselves for the war.
Yeah.
This is no different.
Yeah.
So the strategy is, you know, when one person is targeted, or, you know, each person that's targeted, the strategy for each person is separation and isolation, so that they can further penetrate and dismantle. And I definitely saw that. And it's so crazy because the friends that I still have, including you, are all spiritual, all spiritualists or practitioners. So they understand. Now, this is the thing. I never shared this with you, Shara. She tried to come for the last non-spiritualist friend that I have. But that friend was strong enough to call me and tell me something is wrong.
Good.
She said it was a picture I posted on Facebook. And she commented on the picture. This is when the kids and I was on vacation on the cruise. And she commented on the picture. She said as soon as she commented on the picture, she had a mental breakdown. She was at work. She had a mental breakdown. She went in the bathroom. She was crying. The women was coming, like her coworkers came in the bathroom. They was like, "What's wrong with you?" She was like, "Oh my God, I don't know what's wrong with me." But she said she started to feel intense jealousy toward me. Wow. And then she started hearing a voice say, "Fuck Lavette, don't talk to her, leave her alone." And she was fighting against it because she was like, "No, that's my friend. I love her. This woman has helped me. Why am I feeling this way? What is this?" And she said as soon as she was able to muster up enough strength, she texted me.
Yeah, good.
And she said, "I need your help. Something is wrong." So I called her and she told me what happened. And I knew immediately. I said, fuck. Yeah. And that's when it was really cemented that my relationships were under attack.
Yeah.
But that was the only friend. So, and I'm not glad that happened to her, but I'm glad that she was able to communicate that with me, because that gave me insight on what everyone else may have experienced. You see what I mean?
100%. 100%. That's so important for people who are listening. You know, I hope that when y'all are listening, you understand that this is not gossiping. This is us telling what we went through so that you can take notes and you can understand that if you ever go through something like this with anyone at any time, not just with this person or this community, but if you ever experience the things that we're talking about, then you can understand where it might be coming from. That's very important. What she just said, what Lavette just said about how that happens, how that voice was in her friend's head. sometimes it's not a voice, sometimes it's a thought, sometimes it's a memory about something that make you feel a way about a person. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you really have to pay attention. And that's what Lavette means when she says be aware, pay attention to things that are not normal. You know, that's not something that you hear all the time, every day in your head, you know? So when that happens, you need to be like, all right, something's up. I need to do some work, or find somebody to help me do some work.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I want to talk about is how businesses were affected, because I know that my business was hit pretty hard.
Oh yeah, my baby was hit hard too.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. You know, and actually part of the reason that I knew that because remember, she never really said my name per se. She did like subliminally refer to me, because in that little rant that she did, she, you know, called us the mastermind bitches or something like that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So at that time it was just 3 of us. So yeah, okay. You know, she had said you and other girl's name. So I'm like, all right, she talking about me too. But she still had not outright said my name, but she had interviewed me on her Fox show in November of 2021. I believe it was November of 2021. And it was weird because even during that time, we were doing it virtually, and we were not able to, like, I couldn't hear her. She couldn't hear me. So she ended up having to send me the questions, and then I made a video answering the questions.
Mm-hmm.
So, and even during that time, I was like texting her. I was like, yeah, because at that time, the opposition was really high, like in around me, in my business and things like that. Around that time, opposition was high. And I was telling her, I was like, yo, this opposition is like crazy or whatever. So she didn't say anything about it. She was just like, I'm going to send you the questions or whatever. So I did that. So fast forward to, what was that, like March or sometime? I think that was around March that she made this post where she mentioned that the following list of businesses are the businesses that I endorse because the people who run these businesses operate in integrity, and they're people that I can actually stand behind. I have endorsed other businesses in the past, but if you do not see them on this list, that means that I no longer endorse them. That means that they do not operate within integrity, and I would not recommend their business to anybody. Okay. Now, mind you, she lists all these people. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And did not mention my business, when in the past she had endorsed my business, and people knew that I was being interviewed on the Fox show. So that's when I knew. I was like, okay, clearly she has a problem with me, because remember I had even invested in her. It was like a business retreat that she was doing in New Orleans. I had paid her it was like $888. It's supposed to be happening in March of 2022. I had paid for that because I still was like, is she talking about me? I don't know. I felt tension, and I felt something weird between us, but I was like, she didn't say my name, so I don't want to jump to conclusions. I'm still over here trying to leave space, right? Like, okay, because if she's not talking about me, I'm not going to automatically jump in it and be like, just because she got an issue with y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just try to not get involved. And even you told me that. You were like, don't get involved. Do not get involved. I don't want to involve you. And I was like, okay.
Right.
But after I saw that post, and then after I saw that post, and I started putting 2 and 2 together, and that's when my mind started backtracking through the previous months where my business just started falling apart pretty much, and then after the that post that she made, after that, my website was reported as dangerous to Google. So
I remember that. Yeah.
Took my website down. This happened 3 separate times.
Wow.
3 separate times. And I had the IT guy who was working on it. He said to me, he said, somebody's trying to sabotage you. I've never seen anything like this. He said, somebody is trying to sabotage you. And I was just like, yeah, I know. There's some shit going down right now. He was like, I don't know. I've never seen anything like this. So that happened. Then the Facebook issue, the Facebook thing took place where I lost access to over like 13,000 followers that I had accumulated. So at that time, that was my main money stream right there, coming from Facebook, you know. So the business took a big hit to the point where I just had to kind of sit out for a little while. And Spirit was like, don't do nothing. I just need you to sit still.
Yeah.
Just sit still right now. You're taken care of. Do not worry. You're good. Like, you're safe. Your home is safe. Everything is safe. You're good. And I am. I'm always good. I'm always good. So I was like, okay, I didn't lose my home. Lights never got turned off. Always had food, was still traveling and still doing what I wanted to do. You know, that's just how it works. You know, thankfully, I didn't have to like suffer, but the business suffered a great deal. And I knew that it was because of the shit that she was throwing. The magic that was coming from her and her minions that was over there helping her, you know. So you said that your business got hit pretty hard. What happened?
Yeah, for sure. So it got hit two ways. A big percentage of my clientele came from that community. So of course, when she did her public humiliation ritual on me, which was the live she did April 2022, that led to a lot of those people pulling away from me.
Right.
On top of what she was throwing at my business as well. And it slowed down. I went from being booked and busy to, clients coming in haphazardly, one here, two here, there was no consistency. So it was hit, but I didn't understand the extent of the attack on my business until I sat down with my business. Remember, I shared that with you.
Yeah.
And I had a reading with my business. And man, it was so emotional. And I know that some people are like, how could you get emotional over a business? It's a fictitious thing. No, your business does have a soul. And, that was one of the things that I taught when I was the brand Alchemist, when I was over there in that community. Your business does have a soul. You have to think about it. Your business has a name. Your business has a tax ID, which is a social security number. Your business has a business credit profile, so your business does have a soul. And in the eyes of the law, your corporation, your business is looked at as a separate entity outside of you. So when we look at it from a spiritual sense, it does have a soul. You can literally connect with your business. And on top of that, your business is an extension of you too. Just like we're fractal pieces of the universe, of the all, of God, of source. Your business is a fractal piece of you as well. Just like your children are fractal pieces of you too, right? So, so I commune with my business, and she revealed to me that she was severely hurt, and I had to, do some work to clear that up. But yeah, it was hit really bad. Now, speaking on that, one thing that I do want to address as well, Aishatu. Listen, I'm calling out names because I'm to the point. Listen, I'm to the point right now where it's like, don't play with me. Yeah. I've been quiet long enough.
Yep.
But Aishatu. So the reason why I'm bringing Aishatu's name up, we don't have any beef or any problems like that. Now, I did see her say in the comments in the same live where Emme called out our names. So she knew exactly who Emme was talking about. And I saw in the comments, matter of fact, I think I have a screen record of her record. I was recording the clip and her comment popped up in the recording. So I have the proofs where she was like, let's make it clear. I don't play about Emme, or I'll go to war for Emme, something like that. So, that that says a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Aishatu, we were actually we had developed our own relationship. Aishatu came up here when I had my 40th birthday party. We partied, we had a really good time.
Oh,
You know, we
really?
started to
I didn't
build.
know that. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
she
Okay.
Yep, she drove up here to party with me. That's when I had the party bus party, and we had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I also branded Aishatu, so this is the reason why I'm bringing her up.
Mm-hmm.
I branded Aishatu. When I first heard her mixtape, I was the one who put up a post, and I said, just shouting her out. And
I remember that.
right. And
Yeah.
I used to rap back in my day. So I'm very, very critical when it comes to rap music. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people they can't rap to me. So if I give you
Mm-hmm.
your accolades, that
Mm-hmm.
means that you are good, okay? And I was literally playing her music while driving in my car. It was that good. So
Yeah.
I was the one who shouted her out. When I shouted her out, other people started listening to her.
Mm-hmm.
At my birthday party at the time, I don't even know if we're friends or not anymore. I hadn't heard from her, and I know she ended up being over there in that community. So I really do want to call her and let her know what's going on, and tell her to slowly back away out of that community. But
Yeah.
how she ended up over there, she came down from St. Louis because my friend, her name is Jay, she's a celebrity photographer. Like
Mm-hmm.
she shot any celebrity you can think of,
Mm-hmm.
she has shot them. Okay, she's a real celebrity photographer, and she came down and she was at this same party, my 40th birthday party. Like I said, Ashe too was there, so I connected them.
Mm-hmm.
I said, y'all need to work together. She's good. I know you know a lot of people in the industry. Y'all work together.
Mm-hmm.
So they ended up working together because I saw that my friend helped her create a whole video for one of the songs that Ashe 2 wrote. And it went crazy on YouTube. I think as
Mm-hmm.
soon as they released it, it was like 7,000 views within the first hour or so,
Oh,
something
wow.
crazy like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I saw that she did like a boudoir. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah. Boudoir. Mm-hmm.
Boudoir photo shoot for some of the other young ladies that's over there in that community. And I even saw Teresa Simmons shout her out as well, my friend Jay. So I'm like, oh my gosh, she's in this community, but that's my friend. You
Yeah.
see what I mean? And had it not been for
Mm.
me, she wouldn't even be over there with y'all. You
Yeah.
see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just wanted, and then I just noticed that like after all of this happened, I say too, she went quiet, and that silence spoke loud. So I already knew what that meant. I already knew that you pick sides. That's completely fine, because when I met you at I think it was at the expo when I first met Ashe too.
Yeah.
So that's fine. If you want to pick sides, hey, so be it. Um, but let's not forget that I'm the one who actually branded you. And I'm not saying this to brag or try to take any credit or accolades, but this is really a shot at M, because I noticed after she called me out and the whole little fallout happened. Now all of a sudden you want Ashe to perform at your
I saw
expo.
that. I
You're
remember
shouting,
seeing
yeah.
that.
Yeah. And then I even saw where she shouted Ashe to out, oh girl, your music is good. When I had like almost like trying to take over what I had already
What
assisted
you
in
had already,
creating.
yeah, what you already
Yeah,
created. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And then now, like I said, my friend Jay is mixed up with them, because not only did she work with Ashe too, she was also working with some of the other ladies that are over there in that community. I really want to reach out to Jay and tell Jay what's going on, but I feel like Jay may already know what's going on. But of
Yeah.
course, with them being in her ear, they probably, just said some negative things, emotionally manipulated her, because I don't know. I can't even tell you the last time I heard from Jay on
Mhm.
social media and off social media.
Yeah.
So I really just wanted
That's
to say that.
unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that me highlighting that right there also shows the business side of competition.
Yep.
Yeah,
Big time. And
yeah.
this is sad because we're all black.
Mm-hmm.
We're all black. All these people we talking about are black women. And it's sad because you want to partner with other Black women and you want to see, I want to see Black women, you know, do well. I know you do too, you know.
Yeah.
That's part of your, that's your main target audience, you know, with
Right.
your business. So it's just really, it's disappointing, and it's just sad to see that these women cannot coexist with powerful women. That's what I said in my first live that I did when I was addressing Emme. Like, you get uncomfortable around powerful, beautiful women who got their own shit going on, and you realize they don't need you.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you start to show your ass, because you realize that, because she's told me several times, you don't really need me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no, I don't need anybody, but I'm here for, you know, any knowledge that you can impart, any help or whatever, you know. But I feel like when she realizes that you don't need her and that you're not going to kiss her ass and that you are powerful and you got a really spectacular, shiny, bright destiny, that's what drives her ass to the brink of insanity, and she loses her shit, and she has to create a reason to come at you. Otherwise, she knows she's going to look crazy just starting something. So it has to be something, you know what I mean? Like, she created a fake conflict and a fake beef between the two of you that wasn't even real. And to this day, it doesn't really stand on anything, which you have plenty. You got all of the text messages and the evidence to show that the supposed issue was settled. And she was like, it's okay, we're good, you know. And next thing you know, but that's what she used as the excuse.
Right. Right. Because like I said,
it's crazy.
Yeah, like I said, we weren't like, I had her phone number, and I don't know if she had my phone number saved, but I remember her and we had a conversation one time on the phone, and she was like, save my number, sis. You know what I mean? So I had her phone number. I had a proximity to her that I could see why some people were jealous, because I wasn't an apprentice. I wasn't, you know, I did take a few classes at Divinity Academy, but I wasn't an apprentice, and I wasn't close to her like that, you know? So she didn't have any information on me. She didn't have any tea to spill. So that's why, if you go back to that particular live she did, which of course she deleted it, but I have the screen recording.
Yeah.
But if you listen to that live, when she calls my name, she just curses me out.
She just ranted and raved the whole time.
She was just ranting and raving, and then she brought up the ultrasound picture situation, because of course that was a situation, right? And then when she proceeded to talk about the Expo,
but was it though? But was it really a situation? I mean, let's just think about this with minds of sound people. Like, was it really a situation?
No, it really wasn't a situation. But in her mind, when I say it was a situation, because that was something for her to use. You see what I mean? But in essence, it really wasn't a situation, because as you could see with the conversation we had in our inbox, it was all good. Even when I first brought it to her, she was like, oh, no, sis, I'm good. Yeah, Montario felt a way about it, but no, I'm good. So how you go from I'm good, sis, to ranting and raving and cursing me out about it on a live? You know, that's why I said that's that fake, phony, backbiting bullshit. Literally, the 48 laws of power and the art of war at play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, absolutely. And I mean, I'm glad you brought that up, because I remember sharing this situation with a friend of mine. And by the way, you know, I'm not a big fan of the 48 laws of power. I think I told you that.
No, I didn't know.
You didn't know that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something about it. I'm like, I don't know about this. We'll talk about that another time. We'll talk about that.
I can understand real briefly. I can understand because now when I read it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is some bullshit. Yeah. It's some bullshit. But I like it from the perspective of awareness.
Right, absolutely.
So you know 100%. If someone is using these strategies on you. But to actually implement the strategies, it's like you have to be a backbiting, diabolical, don't give a fuck kind of person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like you don't have to do all of that shit
Yeah.
when you intuition and discernment and you are being led by the highest version of yourself. You don't have to remember all of these plays. You know what I'm saying? Let me remember this and remember this tactic and remember this tool and manipulate and maneuver here and here. That's a lot. Now, one of the people who follow that are unhappy. You know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of people who do follow that are underneath it all pretty fucking unhappy.
Yeah.
But I do agree that it's great to have the awareness and know, have the education behind it. But I had mentioned it to a friend about what we were, experiencing. And she mentioned like one of the 48 laws of power says never outshine the master. And I was like, I think that's bullshit. I don't believe in don't outshine the master, because if you believe in what you're doing, let's just say you are the teacher. You're the person that people come to learn certain things.
Hold on, sis. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Okay. There are 14 people tuning in right now. Please make sure you hit the like button. Please make sure you hit the like button, because it helps us to grow this channel and it puts us in favor within the algorithm. So please, on your way in or even on your way out, it is free and it takes less than a second. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah, guys, and feel free to jump in and, add comments or whatever you want to. My phone had died, so I just got it back up and running so I could see you on here too.
Okay.
But yeah, she had brought up, never outshine the master. And I'm like, I think that's bullshit, because you don't have to like degrade or put down your master. And first of all, I use that term incredibly loosely, because I ain't got no master in the form of a fucking human. Let's just be, I don't care who you are. I don't give a fuck who you are.
Right.
And all the so-called masters, you see where they ended up right now, right? Let's just look around the world. Look at the news every day and you see what the so-called masters are doing. They being exposed and their whole empires are falling apart.
Yeah.
But if I'm working, if I'm an apprentice of someone or a mentee, and I have an opportunity to rise and to do something that's going to take me through the stratosphere, I don't have to poo-poo on my mentor or my, coach or whomever that is to rise up. But my mentor or my coach should not feel like I'm outshining them. You know what I mean? So that when I broke it down, she was like, maybe that's why you're going through what you're going through. And I was just like, nah, I mean, maybe that is, you know what I'm saying? If that person buys into that ideology, but ultimately I should be able to do well and to exceed and grow and glow up. And you should be happy for me as my mentor. That's bragging rights for you.
Absolutely.
So if you get insecure about your mentee's rise, that's a big problem. That goes back to, let me go and sit with why I feel this way. Like your friend said, I need to talk to you. Let me tap into this and figure this out instead of projecting on to the other person. That's real. She's an emotionally mature person.
Very.
To even come to you and be honest about that. Hey, what's up, Tifa?
Hey, Tifa, how you doing?
For her to even come to you and say that shows that she has a high level of emotional intelligence and awareness and maturity about her. But unfortunately, the person that we're talking about doesn't have that. So I forgot how I even got on. How did I get on this topic? But anyway,
because I mentioned the 48 laws of power and the art of war at play.
Yes, absolutely, big time. And I feel like, again, I feel like those books or those strategies are very important for us to just know about.
Right.
But I feel like when people buy into it and start trying to operate within those, you know,
those strategies and techniques,
theories and strategies, which come from another person, and you don't know the mentality that person was in when they wrote that.
Right.
You know, and then for somebody that needs that to follow that, like it's some sort of like Bible or something. For me, I side eye them, and I'm like, you don't like trust yourself. Like you don't have your own mind, so to speak. You don't have your own inner guidance that tells you what to do and when to do it to help you move through certain situations. You know, I know the two of us have been in rooms with all kinds of people, you know, people who are billionaires and got all kinds of stuff, celebrities and all kinds of stuff. You know, I have never once felt like I needed to act like I'm something I'm not. I had to be a different person. I had to be real cunning and strategic with how I think. You know, I'm just going with the flow and trusting my natural my natural spirit inside of me to do what needs to be done. And I feel like a lot of people don't trust themselves. They don't trust themselves. They don't trust spirit. So they have to go to this other entity that has them operating at a lower frequency. And really, it's okay to engage with that lower frequency for a little while so you can get a chance to see what it's all about, but don't stay down there too long. And I think that's this person's problem. That's her problem, is that she not only engages with it, but she has bought into it. And now she allows it to dominate her energy and dominate her body and her mind. Because let's keep it 100. She lets any and everything ride her ass.
Right. Right. I mean, I couldn't. When I first joined the community and I started tapping into her lives, like listening to all of them, I remember, and this was back in 2019, early 2020. I remember her saying at that time she had over 60 altars. That's a lot.
That's a fucking lot. Yeah.
That's a lot of energy in one space in your home.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's too much.
Whew, that's a lot.
It's too much. It's too much. You know, that's a lot of energy. And when you are doing altar work, you know, the altar is like the business is an extension of you. The altar is an extension of you. So when you set up these altars for these energies and I don't care if you say that you don't, you know, first of all, when you allow an entity to ride you, right, to enter into your force field, your energy field, and merge with you, how do you know that you have successfully detached from it after you're done working with them? How do you know that you have successfully done that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we can see the evidence that that's not happening with her. We can see the evidence of that because of you don't, like you said, you don't know which one you're going to get. You don't know which personality is going to show up. You never know. You don't know if the sweet, innocent, childlike personality is going to show up, or the smart, savvy businesswoman is going to show up, or the wicked witch of the South is going to show up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know who you're going to get. The ghetto bunny from Arkansas is who going to show up today. The person who wants to get naked in the street and fight, like who's showing up today? You know what I'm saying? You don't know who you're going to get. A person like that is difficult to trust, who has all of these different personalities in them, which opens up a doorway psychologically, especially when you're working with these different spirits and these entities. What you're doing is, if you already have issues, whether they be emotional issues or some mental type of issue going on with you, and then you start working extensively with these spirits, you are allowing yourself to become a vessel for them, And then you claim that you disconnect and you give them all of these rules that they have to follow. But how do you know that they're following them?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to know. How do you know? You know,
you don't know. That's the thing. You don't really know.
So clearly it ain't happening because, you know, she loses her mind like that. And part of that is because she has a lot of different personalities running through her and spirits running through her. So that's the other thing too. Like, and everybody is not supposed to be doing that. And that's something that she heavily teaches in her apprenticeship.
Really?
And in the program. I mean, and in the Magical Mystic group, because remember the
33 days. Yep. 33
days of abundance, 33 entities, deities, energies that you're working with. 33.
A new one each day.
A new one each day, all of which you may not necessarily supposed to be dealing with. You may not necessarily supposed to be working with those energies. It may not be time yet. You know what I mean?
So true.
So, and not to, if that's what you do, that's what you do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, everybody shouldn't be doing that as we see, because there's some people in that community at the time that we were there that did some pretty horrendous things because they were mentally unstable.
Right.
Homegirl,
Dijon.
Yeah, Dijon.
Yeah.
The one that, you know, put her baby in a suitcase. She was part of that community. You know, and I'm not blaming Emme for what happened, but what I'm saying is the fact that you focus on that so heavily. A couple of questions come up for me is, one, are you qualifying people to be a part of this? Like, are they mentally able to handle that, and energetically and emotionally able to handle that? The other question is, what you getting out of it? Bringing all of these souls to these spirits, what you getting out of it? What kind of agreement did you make with them? That's what I want to know. Because when you do 33 days to abundance, some things do happen for you. Yeah, you get some stuff. But what does she get?
I was in the 2020 33 days to abundance. And I'll be honest with you, the only thing I got out of that was the relationship that I formed with Oya, because Oya was the entity, or I'll just say the energy. Oya was the energy for the day of my birthday. She showed up on my birthday. So when I logged in to see, you know, who's the new energy for today, which was on my birthday, it was Oya's. And that's when I knew, because Oya was already trying to get my attention anyway. So I'm like, okay, you show up on my birthday. Okay. And I could also hear in M's voice, like she was surprised because she was doing a live video and she was talking about Oya and, you know, just everything about her, introducing her for the day. And I was like, yay, my baby on my birthday. And everybody in the comments was like, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. And I guess she looked down and she saw the comments and she was like, whose birthday is it? And they was like, it's Lavette's birthday. And she was like, oh, happy birthday, Lavette. Like I could almost hear, you know, in hindsight, you know, going back.
That voice. I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
I know that voice. I know that voice. That, like,
yeah. Yeah. She was like, you know, almost like, it was almost like, again, in hindsight, it's almost like, oh, you set me up. You set me up. You know, like this is some sort of confirmation. But that was honestly the only thing I got out of it. Because when that happened, I was like, okay, I know I'm supposed to be working more with Oya.
Yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, I didn't see any changes. Now, after all of this happened, I remember, and this is how I know these are true downloads coming in. When I'm minding my business, living my normal life, and then all of a sudden, boom, a revelation hits me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I shared it with you too. Um, it was about 33 days to abundance. And it goes with the question that you asked, what do you get out of it?
Mm-hmm.
So when she's introducing you, so this was the download I got. When she's introducing you to all of these different entities each day, she gives you the invocation. You're calling the essence in. That's for them to come in and again destiny swap with you. What is it that you have that she can utilize?
Mm-hmm.
And they take it, they see whatever it is, and then they go back and commune with her.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Clear as day. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
That was mind blowing. Yeah, that was a mind blowing revelation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Yeah. I mean, because after I did that 33 days to abundance, I think after that, I really took a break from a lot of like working with different spirits and different energies and things like that, you know, because I was just, and I mean, and listen, it was a great experience. Nothing bad happened or anything like that. Nothing bad happened. But what came to me was all you need is your own energy. That's all you need.
Yeah.
That's it. Like you just need your own energy. You know, it's okay to get to know these different aspects of energies and things like that, but you don't really need to be digging into 33 of them in a month. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a lot. That's a lot.
It really is a lot because when you start working with one, it takes time to build and forge a relationship. You know, sometimes you may need to spend a month with just one.
Exactly.
So
some people go their whole
imagine
life and don't deal with 33 spirits.
exactly. So imagine 33, one every day. That's a bit much. But again, at that time, I didn't see it that way. You know?
I didn't either. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't either. I did not see it that way. I was excited. I was happy to be a part of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I did not see it that way, you know. But now looking back, you know, it's just like, ooh, that was a lot. You know, that was a whole lot. And I mean, now I have my ancestor altar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I, you know, and I'm working with one spirit right now specifically, and that's because that spirit has been around me for a long time and has been like, hi, hello,
right.
I got something I need to show you. And then and my ancestors granted permission, saying you can work with that one. That's fine. Go ahead and do that. That'll be good for you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying this, and I remember when she was doing it, I remember there was a YouTuber. I'm not going to say their name. First of all, I can't remember their name. That's one reason. But she's I refer to her as kind of an elder in the spiritual community. She's been around for a really, really long time.
Mm-hmm.
I remember her saying, you know, she didn't say her name. She didn't say anybody's name specifically. But I immediately knew
who she was referring to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
And I remember her saying, and a lot of you all out here following these people who got you working with all these different kinds of spirits. And some of y'all not supposed to be working with these spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Some of y'all not allowed to work with them. Some of them you shouldn't be working with. And I was just like, oh shit, is she talking about him?
Yeah. And when I had that revelation, that download, that you know kind of showed me, you know, when you call them in, they're actually sent to scan and see what's there. So, you know, so they can kind of go back and communicate that with her. When I got that revelation, I remember my mind went straight to her when she said that, the young lady you're talking about, or the elder. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, and all of like all of the readings and the what was the other one that she did? The Sacred Seal, that
Yeah.
thing. You know, even that, you know what I mean? I don't know. Like all of these things I've just started kind of, you know, again pulling my energy back from them, and I do it on a consistent basis. I just pull my energy back from any rituals I've been a part of. And I think doing it once is not enough. You know what I mean? I feel like you have to every now and again, just whenever you think about it, just pull your energy back from these rituals, pull your energy back from these different events that she had, like the 33 days of abundance, you know.
Right.
And I wish I could remember what she got out of that deal.
Oh, after
during
the
that
fact.
time. Yeah, I
Right.
really wish I could remember what it was, but I remember I didn't get very much. Got a little something, but I didn't get very much to have been dealing with 33 different entities, and I didn't get nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it
And
was
when
for
you
abundance. I'm like,
exactly. And that's why, when you put it in that sense, that's why I said, in hindsight, looking back, the only thing I gained from it, honestly, was the relationship that I built with Oya. Yeah, because remember, after that, 11/11, that's when Blue Diamond Brands was birthed.
right.
And Oya is actually the mastermind behind Blue Diamond Brands. Because I meditated with her, I sat with her many a days, and I'm pretty sure I still have those notes. And baby, the wisdom she imparted on me around the business, So
Yeah.
I guess you could say in an abundant
Well, that's
sense,
a
I was
blessing. Yeah,
able, yeah,
that's a
definitely
blessing
a
right
blessing.
there.
But
Yeah,
but
for
that's
sure.
just working with one energy, though.
Right, right.
What about the other 32?
That part, and this is the thing, like it's no shade against the spirits, you know what I'm
No, not
saying?
at
'Cause
all.
they
Yeah.
like, yo, y'all called us. I don't know what you talking about. Y'all called on us. We didn't have to call them.
Right.
We didn't do shit. We just showed up. You know what I mean? But I just feel like it's a little bit, it's irresponsible of her to have people who are really, some people are brand new to magic, and to have them jumping in like that to just start
Right.
dealing with spirits, you know what I'm saying? I think that that's too soon. I think it's too much.
Yeah.
And I think it's irresponsible as a practitioner who was supposed to be a teacher and a leader. I think you just don't know what and it makes sense because I've had a couple of people who are considered to be an elder in the community. They've been doing this, 20, 30 years, who have been initiated, who have mentioned that because Emme is not initiated and she doesn't have elders that she can go back to and confer with, that's part of the reason why she operates the way she operates and the reason why she's unhinged.
That makes sense.
Because she doesn't have a support system. Like when she's losing her shit, she needs to be able to go to an elder who's been doing this for a long time, has probably been there and more, to have her be like, just calm down. This is not something that you need to be losing your mind over. So I because when they brought that to my attention, I was just like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That if you don't have some kind of support system from people who have been doing this for a very, very long time, and have skin in the game and are still around and are still doing the thing, and you are a hothead and you don't have anybody in your corner to kind of settle you down or correct you, then you will make big mistakes, and I think that that's part of the reason why we're going to see her be her own undoing. It's nothing that we can do to, tear her empire down or whatever. She's going to do that on her own. She's going to be her own undoing.
Yeah.
and that's just unfortunate. Mystique's Mystic Universe says a couple of them have come to me. Oh yeah, I don't doubt it at all. I don't doubt it at all. I really don't. And this is the thing, it's not just us talking about this. There are people who are, you know, higher up in the spiritual community who see what she's doing.
They've
They see her.
yeah. They've been seeing her for a long time too.
For a while. They see her.
They've been trying to warn us. Yeah.
Yes, they see her. They've been trying to warn her. You know, not just the humans, but the spirits. The spirits have been trying to warn her. Her ancestors have been trying to warn her.
Yeah.
Several people, including myself, have seen her spirit team and her ancestors step away from her, like hands up, like I'm good, like we can't do nothing else.
Yeah.
She won't stop.
Yeah.
She won't stop. You know, so it's just, you know, it's important to have people around you who can, you know, I don't have any like assigned elders, but I do have people who care about me enough to tap me and be like, hey, what you doing? You know what I mean? People that I respect who have been doing this for a very long time, you know. So it's good to have somebody around you like that, someone that will tug your coattail, you know what I mean? And she just doesn't have that. She doesn't have that.
Yeah.
I don't think she would listen to him anyway, to be honest with you, because she has a lot of narcissistic qualities about. I can't call her a full-on narcissist, but she has a lot of narcissistic tendencies and qualities about her. And most people who have those types of narcissistic tendencies do not listen to other people. You can't tell them nothing. Can't talk them down off a ledge. Can't tell them shit.
Yeah.
And that's dangerous.
It is.
It's dangerous, you know. So, yeah. But, you know, hopefully this has been helpful for people, you know. You know, it's important to have these conversations, and we're going to be doing more of these videos, not just about her and that community, but just talking about, you know, ways that you can just be on the lookout for stuff, you know, like just be aware of what's happening. It's because when you get into spirituality like this, magic, unfortunately, there's you know, it's going to be some shit in everything that you do, right? I don't care what it is. I don't care if you work at a daycare center. It's going to be some shit. You know what I'm saying? Literally and figuratively, right? You know, it's going to be something that you need to, you know, have your eyes open for, but especially in the magical community, because there's people in here who are not healed. There's people who are here for the power. They're here for the control. They're here for money. They're here for all, like, a lot of selfish reasons. And they don't do the necessary healing work to place them in a higher frequency where they're able to operate in integrity and in alignment with source. Because that's really what we're striving for. We're striving to be more in line with source. That's the ultimate goal, is just to be there and try to, if you get off a little bit, bring yourself back, you know, but you also have to do the inner work. You can't just,
you can't skip steps. That's the most important part. Gotta do the inner work.
Tifa said, I have always wondered about that too, because I know some spirits have been invoked under a certain protocol. What do you mean? Can you clarify that, Tifa? But yeah, the inner work is very, very important. And if your leader is not doing inner work, if they don't take breaks, like if they don't just disappear for a little while and they're always around, you know what I mean? That's a sign, right? That's a red flag.
Right.
Because everybody needs a break.
I agree.
Everybody needs a break. You know, I know a lot of spiritual teachers that take time off. They're just like, I'm gonna be gone for a couple of months. I'll be back. They are doing the inner work. They're purging, cleansing, fasting. You know what I mean? Whatever they're doing, they're doing the inner work. And if you dealing with somebody, I should have known better when she said she ain't drink no water, chat. I should have known better.
Yeah, that threw me for a loop too.
Yeah.
And then not only I think a big part of that is because she really prides herself on, I mean, there's nothing wrong with blazing new trails, but she just prides herself on doing magic her way and doing it in a way that it's never been done before. But a lot of things are standard, and we know that you have to drink water and you do have to eat clean for the most part. Yeah. Every now and then it's okay. You know, like I felt real guilty about eating that burger last night, but I was hungry. I didn't. I felt bad, but I was like, I didn't cook. Listen, that's okay. I'll detox it out. But for the most part, you really do have to eat clean and drink lots of water, especially for the kind of work that we do. Drinking water, grounding, and making sure we eat clean. You know, so when you say you eat how you want to eat, and that hasn't stopped you from seeing, or it hasn't blocked your pineal gland. That was another side-eye moment for me too. I remember she mentioned that one time on a live, and I was like, what? Especially drinking the water. I'm like, we have to drink water.
You have to drink water.
Yeah. I mean, outside of for spiritual reasons and cleansing purposes, internal cleansing, but also for your health as well.
Your health, yeah.
You know, because when you're dehydrated, and I've gone through that, so I know firsthand, when you're dehydrated, the symptoms that you have, it literally makes you feel like you're having some sort of heart attack or a stroke, because your body needs that water.
Yep.
Especially considering we're 60-70% made up of water.
Yeah.
You know, so
you need
so when I heard her say that, I was like, oh.
I should have backed away from that immediately after hearing that, because I was like, you don't drink no water. Who don't drink? Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you have to drink water. You have to. It's imperative.
Right.
And I eat relatively clean for the most part, but I have my moments, child, when I'm like, give me the steak, give me the potatoes. You know what I mean? But for the most part, I'm primarily vegan. I do eat meat. I still eat meat. I eat meat, but probably like 3-4 days out of the week, I am vegan. And every now and again, you know, I have a piece of fish and, you know, a piece of chicken here and there. But
yeah,
you know, I you know, and with my sinuses and stuff like that, I can't really eat most stuff anyway. I can't have dairy. I can't have wheat. Can't have any of that stuff. You know, so my body just kind of forces me to, you know, eat clean as possible. But yeah, that's another sign too, if the person isn't taking great care of their physical vessel. And again, trying to go against the grain too much is like another sign. That's another red flag. Because why are you trying to go against the grain so much? Like,
right.
What do you have to prove? You know what I'm saying? I get it. Like, you're just trying to make it easier for people who may not be ready to follow certain protocols. But when you take this path very seriously, there are things that you do have to sacrifice.
For sure.
Things you got to sacrifice. So in the physical world, you have to give certain things up, you know. But, you know, it is what it is. So I've always wondered if it was safe dealing with entities who have been accustomed to being invoked via a certain process in the way she goes about it.
I think she's referring to the whole 33 days to abundance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I learned from an experienced occultist here in Jamaica that ultimately the most important part of spiritual work is ancestral, because they can take you out of grave issues. I agree with 100%. Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
that's the first place everybody should start is ancestral healing.
Right.
Definitely start there. And your ancestors will guide you to, if there are any spirits, any energies that you should be working with, they will usually guide you to them, or the spirit will come to you. Because all of the ones that I've worked with, they all came to me. Aside from that 33 days to abundance, But anytime I worked with any type of energy, it was because they approached me, and usually I was like, nah, like what you want? It took a minute. It took a while for me to finally say yes to working with them. So I would say, unless you just feel really guided to do it, then do it. But otherwise, just hopping in and dealing with these different energies like that, that's not for everybody. Some people mentally can't handle it. Like it's just not for everybody. And like I said, it's irresponsible of her to do that.
I agree. Very irresponsible.
And as far
that's how we know that it's tied to a lot of personal gain.
Yeah, big time.
Sure.
Right, exactly. You do have to fast before you work with certain spirits.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yep.
Like I know, when I worked with, and I hadn't worked with her in a long time. It's been since 2019. The last time I worked with Lakshmi, Lakshmi would not work with me unless my house was impeccable.
Yes, that is how she is.
Very clean. Yeah, and I mean I'm a clean person anyway, but I'm like, what else do I need to clean? Like everything has to be in order. Yeah. So there is a process. Yeah.
It is.
Which makes sense because she's the goddess of wealth. And when you think about wealth, it's purity. It's I don't if you think of a wealthy person, they're not nasty or dirty or disorganized, right? Even if they have people around them to help with the organization, there's still tidiness there, cleanliness there, so it made sense.
Absolutely. Big time. Yeah. But yeah, you're very right about that. There are certain things that you do have to have in place before you work with them, And they'll tell you what it is. Or you can research it. You can read it. I say just sit with them and ask.
Yeah.
They'll tell you, they'll be like, no, you need to do X, Y, Z before I do anything with you because whatever, get your shit together. Yeah. Yeah. So, well, I am glad that we did this tonight, and I'm looking forward.
I am glad as well.
Yeah. So, I'm sure more people will pop in here and catch the replay.
Yep.
So I will. I'm going to share this on my page as well. On my, I'll post it in my community on my YouTube channel as well, so people can, more people can come over here and light it up. But thank you all so much for showing up tonight.
Yes, thank you so much. And if you haven't already, please make sure you like this video, share, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Thank you again. As I mentioned at the very beginning of this live stream, this was episode 1 of our newly launched podcast, Deceptive Figures Exposed.
Yes.
More to come soon. Also, if you're not a part of Mocktails Conversation and Meditation, matter of fact, I'll let Shara tell you more about that and how you can sign up for that.
Yes, indeedy. So if you want to join us on Monday nights, it's not every single Monday, but it is Monday nights when we do the Mocktails conversation and meditation. And what that is there's a mocktail recipe for every scheduled meeting, and that is in the calendar. You do have to sign up for it through the Be Magic School. But what we do there is we have different conversations. There's a new theme every time we meet up. So elites and public figures series, which is what inspired us to turn it into this podcast. So when we meet up in the mocktails, it's behind the scenes, it's on Zoom, it's a closed, like, private meeting. So even if you show up here and you don't really want to, post or say anything here or come on here and talk to us, that's fine. You can also come to the mocktails and just have a nice private chat in there, okay? But we talk about all kinds of things in there. We talk about, different healing practices that you can do. Right now, we're really targeting, the unveiling the deceptive elites and public figures, but we're going to be talking a lot about that stuff over here as well. So come on over, join us. It's fun. We have a good time. And then we end each session with meditation.
Yeah, it's definitely a safe space with like-minded individuals. The energy amongst everyone, it just flows so easily and effortlessly. And it's a great space to be a part of. Like Shara mentioned, we have great conversations. And I love the space because a lot of things that we know we can't talk about publicly on social media, because either the people we're connected to may look at us like we're crazy, they may try to disagree with us, or we, kind of push the risk of being banned on social media as well. It's definitely a space where we can, it's a no judgment zone, and we can just have those free flowing conversations. So, Shara, can you put the link in the comments?
Yes, let me do that right here, right now.
Okay.
I'm going to do it from my phone.
All right.
Yes, I will put that right here.
In the meantime, while she is posting the link again, if you haven't already, please like, please subscribe, and please share with your family and friends, those that you feel may find some sort of interest or benefit in the type of conversation that we had tonight and what we plan on having in the future. So please help us out by liking the video so that we can fall into the good favor and graces of the YouTube algorithm. Yes?
Right, the YouTube gods.
And again, thank you for tuning in. We had a good amount of people tune in tonight. Yeah. So for our first live stream.
First one, yeah.
Yes, thank you so much.
First live stream on a new channel. That's awesome.
That is awesome. And also, many of you, I'm pretty sure, that tuned in tonight, I'm pretty sure that you all contributed to us hitting 50 subscribers so that we could live stream. So I would be remiss if I didn't give you a big shout out by saying thank you so much for helping us hit that goal. Thank you. And we hit it pretty quickly too.
Oh yeah.
So thank you. I really we really appreciate that. Thank you for that.
Yeah, let's get to 100 by, I think we could do that by tomorrow, maybe.
For sure.
By tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yes, indeedy. I don't know. It looked like it posted over here on my end, but it didn't pop up over here. The link.
Did you post it directly in YouTube? Did you go into the YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it should pop up here. It didn't.
Weird. No.
That's okay.
I'll put it in the comments after
after, because I think the comments disappear anyway when we end a live, so we'll probably have to go back in and re-add it anyway. So that's okay.
Yeah. Right. All right. Sounds good to me. Thank you all so much for tuning in and chatting with us. Please do share this video. Share. Some good info in here.
Yes, we don't have a schedule yet, but we will definitely have a conversation about that, just so that we can so you'll know when to expect us. Yeah. So we'll announce that pretty soon. Again, this is something that we've been, it's been in the works. We've been talking about it, and we decided to just go ahead and push the button on tonight. So again, thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you and chat with you another time. Peace.
I don't know what you want from me. It's like you playing a game of Bloody Mary or something. But here I go. Zeno, you killing it. M Rain. Such a shame I gotta do this to you, but you keep poking and prying, so I'ma give it to you. Anytime I see you, know what's up with me. Why you keep on calling my name? What you want from me? Could it be the fortune and fame you gain from energy? A predator is who you be, unbind those energies so we can see that you really weak. Tell your minions stand down, they don't really want this heat. Tell them that this war that we in, it's just you and me. All those curses flow from your grin, I speak it fluently. Talking about what you gonna do to me, I violate you intrusively. Pay your damn bill, that tax lien is waiting patiently. Get the gab is all we see, foot on neck so you can't breathe. Bet you didn't know I was a beast when I ride the beat, standing 10 toes down in my lane. I don't know defeat, now I'm calling my energy back to me happily, but actually the savage me is ready for a massacre. Just in case you was confused, that was a wordplay on massacre. Yeah. You want to keep going back and forth? Round for round? Pound for pound? Let's go. Or stand down. You unleashed the beast. First lady.